Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for another How I Shot It. This week I get to talk to the Kesha Lambert. Hey Kesha, thanks for joining us.
Hello. Hi, Trevor. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. No, I'm stoked to have you on here because I've love your work. I had a blast seeing you at WPPI this last couple weeks ago or so. I'm stoked to actually finally get to sit down and talk to you so you can tell us a little bit about some of your incredible images.
Yes, likewise. I'm happy to be a part of this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So Kesha, tell everyone you're based out of New York, is that right?
Yes, I'm based out of New York, New Rochelle, New York, to be specific. But our core market is the New York City tri-state area.
Fantastic. And then just so everyone can find you, your website's KeshaLambert.com and your Instagram is at Kesha Lambert. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Fantastic. We'll make sure it pops up on the screen over here too so people can see it. So excellent. So Kesha, I just got to ask you, how did you get involved starting to use Flash, or why did you choose to use Flash in your photography?
So I would consider myself primarily an existing light photographer, available light photographer.
I actually loved what you said, though. Existing light. That's a great word. I've never heard it said that way, but I love it. I think it's fantastic.
So, and I've always been fascinated with light, finding light. And for me, well, as a wedding photographer, it started out as a very necessary thing that I had to do. Wedding day spans a broad range of lighting conditions. And so it was just, for practical reasons, something that I knew I needed to take on. But what excited me most about Flash is that it opened up a whole world of new creative possibilities for me. Opened up options in terms of, I didn't always need to have the perfect setting in order to create something cool. I think that was a big bonus for me and what kind of started my obsession.
Yeah. I love that. I love how you said for practicality purposes, like on a wedding day, you're right. We can't really choose, what our light's going to look like all the time. And
right.
there might be times I've had brides run late, for example, with hair and makeup, and now all of a sudden we're doing their couple shots in the dark. And so you have to be available, or you have to be ready. It's a practical thing. But then I love how you said it also opened up your mind to be able to see what else is possible. So that's amazing. That's cool. So, well, fantastic. Well, Kesha, I'll tell you what, the favorite part of all these interviews from everybody is just talking about the images. People love to hear from incredible photographers like yourself, talk about the photos, talk about kind of how it was created, maybe what was going through your mind, or, which modifiers you use, things like that. So if you don't mind, I'm going to jump right into one of my favorite images of yours, let me preface it by saying that a lot of times when people see images that are used with Flash, they think kind of dark and moody. And I know there's some really cool ones that we're going to talk about that are a little bit more dark and moody. But this one, it almost looks like it was shot during daytime. It's the one on the boat dock. Can you tell us a little bit more about that shot?
Yes, absolutely. So this particular image, it was shot at dusk. Just right. I don't remember exactly, but it either was right before or just after sunset. So there was still some light. Mm-hmm. I saw the gates. We saw the gates. We were walking through with the bride and groom. We just finished taking photos, and we wanted to do this gate shot. And my idea for it was to get this kind of bright, I don't want to say heavenly, but kind of like I wanted a very bright, kind of magical look to the image, for lack of a better word. And so we still had light to play with, and I wanted to just kick in a kiss of light. And I wanted that to come through the gates so that shooting through the bars of the gates, we could cast some of those patterns on the ground and kind of just kiss the couple in a bit of light. I used a mag sphere for that one. I had my assistant was standing directly behind the couple, kind of crouched down. I had to remove her in post. Mm-hmm. And that was it. It was a very simple, easy shot to set up. Very quick.
I love it.
Is it?
Yeah. So you had the one assistant was crouched down kind of behind them with the mag sphere, and that's what was lighting them up, giving that kind of that little bit extra rim, and then creating the shadows on the dock. Is that right?
Right.
And so when oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it kind of, it was kind of spilling through. It was the light source was pretty close to them,
Uh huh.
so it was spilling through the gates and behind the couple.
Awesome, awesome. I'm actually looking over here on the side. That's why occasionally I'll be looking. I
Sure.
love. So, was the assistant directly behind them then?
Yes.
Excellent. I love that. What a great shot. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Fantastic. So let's jump into another one here that I think is I can tell there was a lot that went into this photograph. It's one you have these three beautiful little girls. Like, are these flower girls, or was this a wedding?
So this was actually not a wedding.
Uh huh.
This was a lookbook shoot for a bridal designer. She designs flower girl dresses.
Wow.
Good close friend of mine. So this was, a photo session. I set up. So this involved a 3 light setup, all
Hmm.
MagMod. For my main light camera right, I had a MagSphere on a tripod.
Okay.
Set up inside the bank vault, I had a Mag Bounce with the yellow gel.
Hmm.
And inside the door of the bank vault, you see that little pop of blue.
Hmm.
I had another speed light with a blue gel on it. And then the bars of the vault are quasar lights. So I put the yellow mag gel inside the vault directly, just to put a kick of yellow on the little girl standing in the doorway, to kind of mirror what was happening on the other side of her with the bars. And it was just a fun shot
Yeah.
to kind of
I,
be able to set up, to use multiple products. I'm often a 1 or 2 light setup kind of person, portable and quick and simple setups. But this one, I enjoyed doing.
yeah. No, absolutely. It's a fantastic shot, and I think every bit of those little colors that you added really enhanced that photograph. In other words, like that blue, for example, it really stands out as something almost like there's like something digital going on with inside the doors, or something different, and I love it. And so I'm curious. You mentioned quasar lights. So you had 3 flashes plus the quasar lights. Is that right?
Yes. So
Wow.
this particular, the bars on I actually didn't set up the lights. I just kind of left them in place.
Yeah.
We were working with a video team for this.
Gotcha.
That was in place, but I liked it. They
Yeah.
offered to turn them off, and I said, nope, let's keep them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. What a cool shot. And I love even the light on the main light on them, which you said you used the Mag Sphere. Is that right?
Yes.
Just give that little extra pop. I love it. Just looks perfectly. I mean, it's just a beautiful shot. So
Thank you.
fantastic. Let's go to this shot. You have one. It's a couple inside of a like a ballroom here. It looks like maybe right before like a wedding reception or something of sorts.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that shot?
So yeah, this was a beautiful reception at it's called the Montauk Club, and it's pretty historic brownstone in Brooklyn, and so it had all this character to it. I loved the way the tables were kind of arranged around the frame of the door, and so I took that as an opportunity to set them up for the shot. I wanted to show the environment, and I also thought it would be nice to kind of frame them in that walkway. Assistant was holding a MagSphere on monopod, kind of standing on a chair inside the room. I was across, so there's 2 rooms. I was across on the other side, so shooting from the outside of the door frame, and the light source was on the inside of the other room. And it was a really quick. The guests, I think, were right outside the door about to come in.
Yeah.
So it was a really quick ballroom shot that we were able to do before the room filled up.
That's awesome. There's 2 things about this photograph that really stand out for me, Kesha. One is just, again, and you mentioned the word earlier, and I loved it, where you said a kiss of light. Like for me, this photograph, I can tell that you shot your flashes at a low power. You really wanted that light not to take main stage, but you just wanted to kind of complement what was already there.
Yes.
And it has a kind of a very painterly, artistic feel to it, which I love. I'm curious as well, and has nothing to do with lighting, but I'm curious as far as like posing goes. I can tell you're really good at posing clients. Is there something in particular that when you are setting this shot up, are you thinking like about the pose, or does this just naturally happen? Like you have these model-esque couples that know how to pose themselves.
I guess it's a little bit of both. I have these awesome couples with great style and great, these two right here are just a gorgeous couple.
Yeah.
But I love to, I don't want to be bored with the posing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big body language person. And so, I try to, we do the standard cover of the thank you card things, but for this particular pose, I wanted to add a little touch of drama and do something that kind of was groom focused, because we often do bride focused posing. So I tried to switch things up, and because it's his day too.
Well,
and I think it's important to do some poses that kind of call attention to the groom.
Yeah, well, you know what I love about it is, so typically, the light, it looks like it was over to the left, just right, camera left. And so what I love about it is groomsmen or groom, they look great with the split lighting, but typically we don't do split lighting so much with ladies. I mean, we do, right. We can certainly get away with it, but what I love about this is you have this split lighting for the groom, but then you have her looking back towards the light. And so you got this beautiful, what I like to call cigar light, where they're kind of looking over towards the light. And so it's like this perfect mix of split lighting on him, the light on the side hitting her, and then you got it kind of going down her body to create that dimension and shape, which I love. It's an amazing shot.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what. So we've covered 3, and I'm already learning so much. I can't wait. I hope you don't mind, but I can't wait to use that pose and that lighting setup on one of my next shoots coming up. I'll call it the Kesha lighting setup. So Kesha, tell me about this blue shot. We have this couple. There. It looks like there's a bright light behind them, and looks like smoke or something. It has this kind of almost painterly feel to it. Can you tell us about that photograph?
So this one we had a smoke bomb. It was actually a blue smoke bomb, so no gels involved in this shot. I used the MagSphere to backlight them through the smoke, and I did not put any, because we had the blue smoke, I kind of wanted just some illumination around them to give this kind of, I wanted to add a touch of mystery, and so I just wanted to illuminate, to backlight them.
Gotcha. Did you say this was the MagSphere as well?
Yes.
Is that your go-to modifier? Is that the one that you use nearly always?
So, and I will be playing around with them. I'm excited to start playing around with the Magbox. But as of now, MagSphere is definitely my go-to. The sphere stacked with the grid. And when I have like a reception that has a lot of moody lighting, that's also one of my favorite combinations to work with for dance floor, and just anything that has, so that I don't lose the character of the room and the lighting. I like to do the grid and sphere combo. Yeah. So those are kind of like 2 staples that I work with.
Absolutely. Those are some of my favorites as well. In fact, it's funny. We did a survey of all not all MagMod customers, but everyone that responded to it. I think it was around 4,000 respondents. And the MagSphere was by far the number one kind of modifier that people like to use.
I believe it.
I believe it. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So on this one, you didn't use any gels or anything. You just used the MagSphere behind it, but then you had a blue smoke bomb. Is that right?
Correct. Yep.
Love it. I think what makes this image pop as well is just the fact that you have this light around them, but it also, I'm trying to figure out, I guess it's just the smoke bomb that kind of framed the light that kind of goes around them, it looks like.
Yes. So the moving smoke, I love filtering light through particles and smoke and things like that. That light is it has a nice soft spread to it, and you're catching some of that spread filtering through the edges of the smoke. I
love it. That's an awesome image. Beautiful stuff. So let's talk about, there's 2 more images that we had just kind of looked over prior to going on the call here.
Yes.
I would love, there's one in the room, and then there's one of the couple looking forward. Let's talk about the couple looking forward first, and then we'll wrap it up with the room shot. So tell me about the couple looking forward here. You have them holding hands. The man's hand is on his chest here. Tell me about your lighting setup and kind of what you were trying to create.
So this particular couple, they wanted kind of a moody and sultry feel for their engagement session, and so
this photo captures that.
And so I feel like this one I spear grid stacked together for this, and perfect combination for this kind of mood.
Mm-hmm.
So the main light was a 8200,
mm-hmm.
the spear grid stacked, and then I had someone directly behind them with a sphere.
Mm-hmm.
So they were directly behind I call her the bride, the lady.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Directly behind her, I'd say maybe about 3 or 4 feet back. Low power. I kind of wanted the lights spilling through her hair a little bit, little rim. So they so they were close-ish.
Yeah.
Behind her.
You know what's interesting is I think when I tell photographers, like if there's one thing, a lot of times when people get started with flash, they'll start with one flash. And mm-hmm. I say if there's one thing you can do that really takes your images to the next level is adding an additional flash and putting it behind people, adding that little bit of rim light. And it doesn't have to be much. And what's interesting about this photograph is your rim light, it doesn't overpower anything. It doesn't scream like, hey, I'm back here. I'm doing a rim light. It just literally just gives them a little bit of a carve, in her hair, in his suit, that kind of stuff, and just makes them pop just that little extra. Without it, they start to blend into that background, and and it's not as impactful. So
yeah, I have some where I did it with, I did actually with that particular series. If you look in a series of shots, I did start without that light behind them, and mm-hmm. that's exactly kind of the difference that I see between the photos that I did with and without it, is that little extra kick of light, that little carving, kissing around the edges of the both of them adds something.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be at a strong power. It can be super low power. Yeah. I love it. Awesome job, Kesha. So let's go to this very last shot here. This is the shot of the couple in the room. And this is, I'll tell you here in just a second, I'll let you explain the photograph and I'll tell you why I love this kind of style of photos. But tell us a little bit about what you were doing and kind of why you set this up or how you set this up.
The room had some amber tones and I wanted to preserve that. Mm-hmm. I used a half CTO gel behind the lady. Mm-hmm. This is a 2-light setup. Uh-huh. Those bars that you're seeing her stand between the room had the bars on the other side of the room, and I was standing behind those bars, shooting through them. I had, for the main light, assistant with the MagSphere again on monopod inside the space with them. So there was a light source inside the area that they were sitting in, MagSphere, and then I had them backlit with the CTO.
I love it. So I kind of led into this image saying it's one of my favorite types of shots. And the reason I say that is what I love doing in photography that you absolutely nailed here is the subframing, where you frame your subject inside something within the photograph. And I think the fact that you stepped outside of those bars, the same bars that she's standing in between, but you stepped outside of them, not only were you able to subframe them, but I'm guessing that you also were able to use that to kind of hide your assistant with the monopod. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah. And that was two things that I think I just love. You subframed them and you were able to put your assistant over there and kind of have them close with that. And you said this was a MagSphere on them. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then behind her, you had a flash with a half CTO gel, just kind of keep that warmth. Love it.
Yeah.
Kesha, amazing. Your photographs are absolutely beautiful. Yeah, they're truly beautiful, and I can understand why you're doing so well out there in the New York tri-state area. Truly amazing work. So I can't wait to see you again, and I hope we can do another one of these maybe within the next year or so and learn more about some of the images. You had mentioned the Mag Box. I can't wait to see what you're creating with that.
Get that out this wedding season.
Yeah, so. I feel the same way. I got a little bit of a tease before everyone else because working with MagMod, I got to go out and try it on weddings, and I did love it. So I look forward to seeing what you create with it as well. Keep rocking it. I want to just tell everyone again, KeshaLambert.com, Kesha Lambert on Instagram. Go check her out. Go follow her and give her some love there. Kesha, super, super appreciate you being here with us.
Thank you so much. This was fun. I appreciate the opportunity to share.
Yeah, well, you did an amazing job, and I know all of us have learned, and we're able to. What I love about these How I Shot It is we do them on Fridays, so that we share them on Fridays, so that we can actually be inspired as we go into the weekend. So, like I said, there's already some things that I'm in my mind thinking I got to pull this off because Kesha did it, and I love this idea. So, I like to give my poses or my lighting setups names, and I'm going to just call it the Kesha and start doing some of this. So.
Love it. Thank you. Thanks again, Trevor.
Awesome. Thank you. And thanks everyone for joining us. Be sure to check out the How I Shot It every Friday. So thanks, Kesha. Take care.
Bye.